Hey, Trailblazers. This is your host, Jason. And as you know, one thing we care most about on the Trailblazing Texas podcast is supporting small businesses that support our outdoor community. Angry Pica Food Company is exactly that. Family driven, community focused, and committed to fueling adventures the right way. So please check them out. They have wonderful meals and a new product, coffee, which I've tested and it's spectacular. So give them a look at angrypicafood.com. Now on with the episode. Welcome to the Trailblazing Texas podcast, where we embark on a journey through our diverse Texas landscapes and breathtaking trails while always engaging with our amazing Texas hiking community. So settle in, tighten up those bootlaces, and get ready for the thrilling tales awaiting for you on this episode. So if you look back before you started the trek, you read the book, you were inspired, you recovered from the broken leg. What did Everest mean to you symbolically, meaning that was it just kind of a personal challenge? Was it the adventure, or was it something like maybe more like of a spiritual aspect?
Okay, so I think it was a mixture of a spiritual and a personal challenge. First of all, I think the fact that it's so far away, and for a long time I didn't even thought about it. It was just like totally outside of my world, and like before I turned 33, I wouldn't even think about going into Himalayas. I thought that was thing for people who only climb, or like people who do sports and go in like climb Everest. So it was like doing things that I would never think I would do. So that was a big thing for me to sorry for this phrase, but stepping out of the comfort zone, and also knowing how many people lost their lives there because something inside them just made them go again and again and again. It's a very dangerous sport, right? We all know it, and I just wanted to see the place that draws so many people, and make people do things that seem impossible, and even they make like the greatest sacrifice, which is somebody's life, in order to get there, to step on the summit. So I wanted to see that all, and I never had an ambition to climb any peak, but I just wanted to maybe just be a part of it, as a observer.
All right, you've committed, you hit the button, you got the guide service, you paid the down payment, whatever it talks about. When did you even start preparing for this?
Of course, yes. Preparation is the key, and that was again the great thing about doing that with the company is that they help you a lot. So I got the full list of the gear that I need to bring, and how I need to prepare physically for this hike. So that was way easier than doing the research yourself, especially when you don't have much time because you're working, you have other obligations. So for someone that doesn't have too much time and is not like a gear freak, it's a real help to get everything in a form of a list that you need to tick off, and in order to prepare. So I got that list. So I signed up in, I think it was June. So but I had some parts, some items already, because I think that, okay, now I remember the year before or 2 years before, I also sent that company an email about me wanting to join them, but at that time I resigned. It was, I think, before the trip to Texas. So I already had that list before. Now I remember. So some parts of the gear I already had. but it was just like a really minor part of what I had to buy. So in general, I had to buy all. I didn't have like a puffer jacket, a sleeping bag, all those basic things that you need. So from June, I started, getting the proper clothing, backpack, sleeping bag, and things like that. Then, when it comes to exercise, that was harder because I'm not really a sport fan. But yeah, I knew that if I want to make it, I have to train. So around, it was, I think, late July or early August that I started some running exercise, and that was all actually. So I had like 2 runs per week, up to 3 sometimes when I could find some more time. And that was all actually. That's all my like physical preparation for this trip, because if you don't climb, you don't really need to have like very strong arms. So I didn't have to train this part, but you have to have strong legs and good stamina. So you need to do some cardio and make sure that your legs are strong. So running, I think, is the best exercise, and especially running up some hills to make your legs stronger. So that was something I did. I could have done it better or more. Not that I regret, because actually I have to say I did well on that trip. So it was enough. But I think if I spent like more time on training, it would be even better. So that's something you need to take care of.
So, were there any new pieces of gear that you were excited to get out on the trek?
Everything was new. Basically, the only thing that I had that wasn't new was my hiking boots that I got before my first hike in Bieszczady mountain in Poland. So that was like from a few years ago, but they were like, checked. I knew that they are not going to fail me. They are right now like my friends, because I shared so many good adventures in those woods. So that was the only thing that I had, and everything else was new. So because it was so many things, can't say that I was excited about any of them in particular, because I was just overwhelmed about by the amount of all these things. So the answer is no. I was excited about getting that many stuff, but everything I got was used. So I may say that it was the list that I got from the company was well prepared, because everything that I got I needed.
I know, like, whenever I go on trips, my biggest thing is I feel guilty leaving a piece of equipment behind. So, like, I'm picking this tent over that tent. And I'm like, wait a minute, this tent, I've been through this and this and this, or this backpack, I've been through all these things. I can't leave it back in shirts and all this stuff. So, man, it's sometimes I just bring stuff just to leave in the car because I just want it to go on the trip.
Yeah. I know you, and I could actually see your gear room. So I know how you like these things. Well, I'm a bit different, more on like a minimalist side. So the less the better, but it doesn't work in Himalayas. So here I just had to follow the guidelines from the company.
So we talked about physically how you prepared. How did you prepare for it mentally?
Um, Well, mentally, it was all about, overcoming or trying to overcome my fears. So, specifically the fear of flying. I hate flying. So, but at the same times, I love to travel. So I have to somehow live with this. And especially because one flight that we had planned was to that one of the most dangerous airports in Lukla. So that was something I kept thinking on, like how I'm gonna make it. I don't want to die in a plane crash. So I was like trying to rationalize this aspect, that it doesn't happen often, and it's the safest way of traveling. So that was my mental preparation. Other than that, that was, I think, my only fear. Maybe the other being the altitude sickness, because when you go there, you never know how your body is going to react, and it doesn't depend on your stamina or the exercise you took. It can happen to anyone, and if you go there for the first time, you will never know. Second time, third time, maybe you can be more sure about if this is going to happen to you or not. But first time, yeah, it's a just a lottery. You don't know. But yeah, that was something I couldn't control. So I just put it aside as a thing I can't control. If it happens, it happens, and I will know that this is not the thing for me. Other than that, I was like super happy that it is happening. I didn't really need any mental preparation. I was just very excited and grateful to that this is going to happen to me.
So you arrive in Nepal. I'm guessing it's Kathmandu was your first
Yes.
Nepalese airport.
Yeah.
So describe it. Like, you stepped off the plane, you got out of the airport, the sounds, the smells, the energy. What was it like?
It's a very hectic place, like many places in Asia or cities in Asia. So the first thing was like the smell of flowers. I left in October, so Holland in October is in like full autumn. Yeah, depending on the weather condition, it may be mild or tough, but it's like not very sunny place, and it's getting colder. And then you stepped out from a plane, and you smell the flowers. Everything is so warm. The sun is shining, so it was a very energetic experience. But then, yeah, we went. We got into the bus and we drove through Kathmandu, and that was real like havoc. It's motorbikes everywhere, no rules. Like I couldn't like figure out like how the driver knows like where to go, when to go, when to stop. It was crazy, noisy. So my first thought was, please let's get out of here at once and go, to Lukla, because I can't stand this noise. It's like too loud. But then I started getting used to it, and at some point I could even say that I liked it. It was so it's you just need to give yourself like a couple of days to get used to, and it's okay. Like first experience is really scary, but then it becomes normal. So that's my experience of Kathmandu.
So when you first arrived at Kathmandu, how many days did you stay there before the flight to Lukla?
It was just one night before going to Lukla, and then when we arrived, we spent there 3 days.
In Lukla?
No. When we got back from Lukla to Kathmandu, before leaving back to Poland, we spent 3 days exploring Kathmandu and sightseeing.
As you already discussed, the flight to Lukla is legendary, not in a maybe positive way. Most dangerous flight I think there is. You're walking down the little, I guess, hallway, or walking out to the plane. What's going through your mind?
When we landed, you ask?
Yeah, when you're in Kathmandu flying to Lukla and you're walking to the plane, what's going through your mind? Knowing that this is the most dangerous flight.
So I think I was more scared of it when I was in Poland. When I got there, I just, I just went with the flow. And just one thing to explain, we took the flight to Lukla from like another airport, because the one in Kathmandu was closed for like local flights at that time. So actually, the scariest thing that happened to me in this whole trip was the bus ride from Kathmandu to Ramechhap, where the airport was. We drove whole night. We started, I think, shortly after midnight, and and that is funny because it was just I think it was 140 kilometers. So it would be around maybe 80 miles, 70, 80 miles, something around that number. But it took us 6 hours to go there because there are no roads. It feels like, driving on the surface of the moon. And it was really scary because it was just like a tiny school bus. And I couldn't believe what this vehicle is capable of because it did better than a truck. So it was amazing. But at some point, we were all sleeping in that bus because it was a nice drive. But at some one moment, we heard we heard the bus stopped and we heard a noise. And it turned out that the driver slept, so he hit the wall next. On his left side, so that was less dangerous than the right side, which was just falling down from a rock. So that was dangerous, but at the same time I was very tired because I didn't sleep throughout the flight to Kathmandu, and then that other night that was scarce. The sleep was scarce, so I was so tired that I didn't really care what happened. I was just like, okay, we are okay, let's go. And I went to sleep again. So yes, because I was very tired, I didn't feel much fear back then, and that also happened before that flight to Lukla. I just got on the plane and off we go.
So when you arrived in Lukla, how many days were you there before you started the trek?
It was we started immediately. So we arrived. It is a very short flight. It takes half an hour to get from Ramechhap to Lukla, and I believe it would be comparable with the flight from Kathmandu. So we landed in the morning. We had a breakfast, and then we set off. So we didn't really stay in Lukla for a long time. The weather was perfect, so why wasting the day?
Yeah. The very first step when you stepped on the trail to Everest Basecamp, what were your emotions like?
Back then, actually, I was so tired. I didn't really feel a variety of emotions. Yeah, I was happy I survived the flight, and that was the main thing that was going on in my head. But other than that, yeah, I don't remember any like specific feeling. Maybe because I was very very tired. Two nights without like a proper sleep. So I just went on. I knew that day I just need for like to recover and to get to the lodge and get some sleep, and the day after it will like start for real for me, because that first day was just I was very very tired.
So for me, and I think to most of hikers and backpackers that have experienced a bunch of trips with different people, the group that you're with can make or break a trip. So how was your group? And then did you meet any interesting or cool people along the trek?
Yes, of course. That's the greatest thing about going for a like organized trip alone, because I went alone. I didn't know anyone from the group. So it gives you a chance to know a lot of inspiring people and learn from them. So group was fantastic. Mostly people around my age, but there was also a couple in their 60s. So the age was very a bit older than you. So everyone everyone was prepared and had some experience or some past adventures that they shared. So we had a lot of moments when I could hear about many adventures that these people went through. So that was really fun to spend time with those people. So yeah, they definitely didn't break this trip. And what I need to add, there was we were divided into two subgroups, if I may call it like this, because part of the group was also going to climb Island Peak, which is around above 6,000 meters. So there was like a group of, real climbers with a certain goal. And I was in that group that only, hikes to Everest Basecamp and goes back. So for me, a person rarely does any sport or never climbed any mountain, having an occasion to talk to people who have a goal like that was a really, really inspiring thing. Again, that was something I never thought about. I never considered as a thing for me, and I could interact with people who just do it.
Yeah. So what did a typical day look like for you? Wake up, hike, eat, rest, repeat, sleep? I mean, like, what did that look like?
Yeah, exactly like you described. It sounds boring, but it wasn't. We usually got up around 8 a.m., sometimes before if we had a longer route. We had a breakfast with some traditional Nepalese food, which is really, really good. After that, we hit the trail, and the hikes every day. We didn't do a lot of kilometers or miles. It was like designed for, the organizers knew that we are different people with different physical conditions. So I believe they designed this whole itinerary to fit for every member of the group. So it was, I think, the longest hike that we did per day was maybe around 10 kilometers. But as we get higher and higher, it's decreased because obviously, at certain altitude, you just can't hike like too much or do too many kilometers because you are just tired because of altitude itself, right? So I didn't feel this was very was pushed to my limits. No, that was ideal amount of kilometers per day. I didn't feel like exhausted. I felt tired, but it wasn't like exhaustion. So yeah, after breakfast we did our hike, and think that surprised me because I expected this to be like a totally wild thing, being out in the woods, in the mountains, with no contact with civilization. But actually you hike through a lot of villages, so it's not like you don't see, and obviously it was a hiking season there, so plenty of other hikers. But during the hike you can always stop for a coffee or a cake or a meal. So it wasn't so wild at the beginning. Later it became like this, but not at the beginning. So the pace was rather mild, slow. Also, that because those people that were going to climb that mountain at the island peak, they also needed time to recharge and not to push themselves too much in order to climb that peak eventually. So yeah, it was a really cool day that ended with supper, some conversations after supper, and going to sleep, and again every day.
Was it in tent? Did you stay in tents or like hotel type?
Not intense. There are plenty of places. They call it lodge. So there are plenty of lodges on the route, and there is place for everyone. There is no chance that you are left without a roof over your head whenever you need it. So we use that lodges on the route. They are not heated, so that's the challenge. After the sunset, it gets really, really cold. You need to have a very good sleeping bag and warm clothes because the temperature in the rooms is really low. So actually, for me, it didn't matter if that was a tent or that lodge because it was as cold as it would be in the tent, probably. So, but yeah, we slept in those lodges.
It's interesting, and we've talked about this before. Did you find it a little disappointing that it wasn't so rugged? Like, you're walking through these towns, you're sleeping in a lodge versus, like maybe what you thought would be just, oh, it'd be the outdoors and all that kind of, like, was that a little disappointing or?
I never felt any disappointment there. It was maybe different from what I expected, but still I wouldn't call it a disappointment because it was still a new experience. So uh,
Yeah.
no, I wasn't disappointed. I knew that maybe I can like pick another time. I can pick another region that may be more wild if I want to experience that. And maybe for beginner like me, it was good to
Mhm.
start like this, and to start from like a easy level. So no, there is no disappointment at all.
So what was your favorite meal or drink along the trek?
Mm, when it comes to drinks, there are none, to be honest. Oh no, sorry, I forgot about one important drink that helps you survive through the cold. So it's a ginger tea. Yeah, yeah. Please edit my first answer. So no, ginger tea is like an elixir that makes that keeps you warm, treats or cures the cold. So it's like ocean of life there, this ginger tea. So I drank so much of that beverage. So we every night we used to order like a big jug of this tea. So we had that in our room, and whenever and it kept warmth really well. So even if you woke up freezing in the middle of the night, you could have a sip of that warm drink, and you got better instantly. So the ginger tea, it's a must. Then when it comes to food, okay, but coming back to the beverages, so ginger tea, but never order hot chocolate. you you will never get a hot chocolate that you will like. As much as I love this country and the foods, they don't know how to make hot chocolate. So spare yourself, disappointments and wasting money, and never order hot chocolate there. When it comes to food, it's very similar to the Indian food, and I think in general Asian food is very popular around the world. So but Nepalese food is, I think, less spicy, so like more. It's easier to eat than an Indian food, and they also have a thing that is similar to our Polish pierogi. They call it momo dumplings. So these are really nice. What else? There is a traditional bread called chapati. It looks like a pancake, but it's more crispy, and it's a nice thing for breakfast. What else? Other than that, I think I ate a lot of noodles, which is, I think, similar to any other Asian country. So noodles with vegetables. And we were also advised not to eat too much meat as we get higher, because when you consume meat, your body needs to, digest it, and it loses some energy to digest it. So we were advised when we get like above, I think, 4,000 meters, that we should rather become vegetarians, which is like easy thing for me. But yeah, that was advice from our guide, that at some level we should consider vegetable meals rather than meat ones. So yeah, me myself, I'm more on this vegetarian side. So that was the food I ate.
So how many days was the total trek to reach Everest Base Camp?
So to the base camp from Lukla, it took us 11 days, and also because we had a perfect weather, we didn't have to stop because of the weather condition. We like fulfilled the original plan. Uh, you can't do it like too fast because you need to gain the altitude gradually. For sometimes we had like 2 moments when we slept in the same place, and that was because of getting accustomed to the altitude. So in total, it was 11 days. Yeah.
So as you progressed in altitude, how did your body acclimatize to it?
I was surprised that it went so well. because I never experienced any symptoms of altitude sickness, but also because I took the advice from the guide and I took the medicine that is used to help you to get accustomed. This is a drug called in US it is sold as Diamox, I think, because I heard many American tourists talking about Diamox. In Poland or in Europe, it's called Duramite. And this is a medicine for, I think it cures some problems with your eyes, some eye sickness that I don't know the name of it, but it's not like a drug specifically for acclimatization. It's just a drug for some other conditions, but it works well for acclimatization. And not sure if I may tell it here, but yeah, it makes you pee a lot because the main purpose of this drug is to drain you out of the water. So that's the side effect of taking Diamox. But it's okay. And sometimes you feel the numbness in your fingers. That's the other thing can affect. So yeah, I took this drug, and not sure how I would do without it. Maybe even without it, I wouldn't feel any symptoms of altitude sickness. But all in all, I felt very well. I didn't have headaches. I didn't have any nausea. So I was really surprised and happy that I keep going and I have no problems with gaining the altitude.
Was there ever a point along the trek where you hit a wall physically or mentally?
Mentally not. Physically only because I got cold. I got sick, and that was, I think, day 5 or 6 of the trek. It was above 4,000 meter, and yeah, the reason for that was really silly. And if anyone plans to hike there, I really advise not to take cold showers there, because they can kill you. So because that's something I did, not on purpose, but I just really I longed for showers, so I decided I'm doing this no matter how cold the water is. And yeah, the next day I could already feel that I'm sick, and it just got worse. Yeah, so but luckily that was the day where we spent 2 nights in the same place. So I just had to stay full day in my room. The rest of the group went for some, for a little hike up there, but they came back. So that day I had to resign from the hike and stay in my room, drink like 2 liters of that ginger tea. I had some medicine with me, like paracetamol, things you take for cold or flu. And yeah, I had just this one day to recover, and it helped me. I slept most of the day, and next day I felt better, so I could continue. But yeah, that was a day when I thought, after all went so well, I felt so good, and also physically, I had no problems with, going up and down, and no problem with altitude sickness. And I was feeling like, really, I'm doing this, and this is going to be a success. And who knows, maybe even one day I'm gonna, climb that 6,000 meter peak. But that day, all this, I had a little breakdown, because I knew that there are things that, again, I can't control. If I don't recover, I can continue. There are no, hospitals or doctors on the. It's getting only wilder above 4,000 meters. So I will get, well, I could get help, but it would mean, a transport from the trail to the hospital in Kathmandu. So that was something I didn't want to really experience. So I was really scared that this sickness is going to stop me. That was a bit hard for me. But yeah, again, this is something I can't control. So I just went to sleep, and I knew that, a good amount of sleep, hot beverage, and some medicine can help you. So I just trust it's going to be okay. So next day I woke up, and I still felt sick, but not not that much that it would, make me stop and go back. So I continued. But yeah, till the rest of the hike, I coughed. I had a running nose, so I didn't feel very well. And And then I was rather at the end of the group. Before that, I was, one on the front. But after that cold, I dropped to the last, to be the last one. So yeah, but that's life. I was still happy that I can continue. Sick, not sick, I kept going.
That brings up an interesting question. Was there discussion before y'all started about what it would look like if you couldn't continue and you needed to be rescued or turned around? Was it like helicopter ride, getting picked up? Was it just you walk back on your own? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how did they handle that?
Mm-hmm. Well, it depends on what happened to you. There are few options. So if it's not very serious and you are like conscious, maybe I don't know, you sprained your ankle, or you are getting altitude sickness, and it's not like very far or not too close to Everest Basecamp, you get transported on a mule or a yak, or no, not a yak, but on a mule or on a horse. But if it's more serious, you can't, like, you are unconscious, you have, I don't know, heart attack, or you broke your leg, then this is a helicopter ride that you need to take. And that happened to one of our friends on the trail, but it was when they got back from Island Peak, and that was again silly accident, because nothing happened on Island Peak, but when they were going back, and it was like below 4,000, so it was just like a normal path, and she slipped on some, I don't know, piece of plastic on the trail, and she hurt her knee. So they sent a helicopter for her. So yeah, and in my opinion, and from what I could hear from other people, helicopter is better, because going on that mule is very painful. I mean, your body is very sore after that trip. So when we, because you can see that some people going back, accidents happen, and yeah, they are. You can see that it's not easy ride.
Yeah. So did you have insurance that would cover helicopter rides and this sort of
Yes,
thing? Yeah.
yes. No one should do it without insurance. That's a
Yeah.
very important thing.
All right. So what is one breathtaking moment that you'll never forget, whether it be like just the town, the sunrise, a view, the silence? What is something that sticks with you?
Well, of course, there is no one moment on a trip like that. It's impossible, right? But I will pick one that is very unusual and something you don't expect to hear. So that was a party in a club above 3,000 meters in a town called Namche Bazaar. It's a very famous town because it's like a how do they call it? It's a capital of Sherpas. That's how they call it. And a very cool place where trails meet. So a lot of hikers meet and have fun. And there is a very cool music club called Dancing Yak. And our guides told us that that will be a part of our acclimatization process to dance, above 3,000 meters and to, feel how it is. So we went there and so we actually danced. It is a bit, it hits differently than, dancing in a club, let's say Warsaw, or, on the sea level. So you feel very tired and you feel your heart beating very fast, although you are just, like dancing very slowly, or, not really crazy. But it was real fun, and there was a live band there that played a very nice music. So it was one of the best parties that I had, and that's one of the moments I will never forget, because I didn't expect to find a cool music club with dancing above 3,000 meters in Nepal. So that was magic.
Did you have any wildlife encounters or any cool cultural experiences?
With the wildlife, not really. For me, meeting a real yak was a thing, because I've never seen this animal, roaming around. But it's like very typical. It's like cow for us. So for Nepalese people. they are not very wild or dangerous unless you tease them, probably. But they are so very pretty animals. So I was very happy to have a opportunity to see them, living like wild in the mountains. But I didn't have any like encounter with any dangerous animal there. So no.
Yeah. So, what did it look like when you were gonna reach base camp? Was it like, "Tomorrow, we're gonna start out, and then after X amount of miles, we'll hit Everest base camp," or was it, I don't know how to word this, like, what was it, were you hitting Everest base camp, like, in the morning? Was it gonna be at the end of the day? Like, what did that look like?
It was there was a plan change when it comes to hitting the base camp, because originally we planned to reach the last village before the base camp and sleep there and go to the base camp the next day. But the weather was so good and we had a really nice pace back then. So we arrived to that village. We left our backpacks and our things, and it was still a lot of time. The weather was good, so we decided to go to the base camp because it was only like maybe 4 kilometers, 3 kilometers from that place. So we went on, and we hit the base camp around 4 p.m., 3 p.m., between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. So it was still the sun was there. It was not dark. It was still. I'm not saying like warm, but while the sun is there, you don't feel very cold. It warms you up. So the conditions were very good. As we were going back, the sun started to set. So it got colder, but still we got back to the village before dusk. So we didn't hike at night.
And so what was it like emotionally? Like, you're coming up to, I guess, just the base camp. Did you know it was the base camp? Could you see like, "Yep, this is it. I can see it in the distance," or did it all of a sudden just pop out like, "Oh, we're here"?
Well, as you get closer to it, everything gets very silent, and it puts you in or at least it put me in a specific mood because, back then I remember that we were a group, but I think a lot of people went separately. And that was for my case as well. I didn't have anyone beside me, so I could just hear the silence and watch the mountains. And that was I it's not typical for me, but it put me in sort of like a very spiritual mood back then. And the views are like I can't even express it in words. You just have to see it and see it live. Don't look at photographs or pictures in the internet. Save it for like a real experience. So I don't have words to describe it, but as I got closer, I got very like calmer. And but then when I saw the place, and a lot of people get disappointed when they get to the base camp because, and especially in October, because there are no climbers there are no tents, no one climbs at the time. When you go there in May, you will see the tents of the expeditions that go to the Everest. Back then, that was not the case. So there were only other groups that hiked that day. And there's just a stone with like a red graffiti. Not very, there is nothing like artistic about this. It's just, graffiti with Everest Base Camp and the altitude that you are on. I could hear that a lot of people, maybe they weren't disappointed, but maybe a little, but they said that they should do something more spectacular for that place. Just not just
Yeah.
a bare stone with graffiti on it. But for me, it was enough. I don't think that this place needs um, anything more or any like addition from a civilization. It's just a bare stone is it just the right thing to be there. I don't need any human footprint. If that makes sense. So as I got there, then I could feel like a real like a flow of emotions, because I knew that this is it, that's my goal, and I did that. So yeah, I felt very, very happy and grateful again, and very energetic. Although we had a whole day, we hiked for the whole day, but I felt like I could go like twice this distance. I felt so much energy, and although I was still sick, I the only thing I could feel was just pure happiness and gratitude.
So when you look back now, what's the first image that comes to your mind about this whole journey?
Image like
If I just said, tell me about your Everest base camp trek, what's the first image that pops in your mind?
So that will be definitely the area close to the base camp, where you can see all those legendary mountains like Lhotse, Nuptse. That so many like climbing legends were there, and or some of them died there, and they're not accessible regular people like me. So when you get like in the area of those mountains, yeah, that's the view that will stay with me, I think, from that trip.
I don't know if you already experienced this or know this, but anytime that you take on something like this, and I'm relating it to all my time in the quads, you learn something about yourself, like all these things that you're pushing yourself, you're challenging yourself emotionally. You feel some things like, so what did this trek teach you about yourself that you maybe didn't know before, or that you kind of evolved to?
What I did learn is that I worry too much for no reason. That was because I had so many worries before that trip and during that trip, and that was useless. So it taught me not to worry and just trust in myself and my judgment and my skills. I think that's the thing I learned.
That's a perfect answer. I love it. So you're back in Poland. How did it feel getting off the plane? Was it kind of like reverse culture shock, or the sense of normal life now kind of feels a little bit different after something that spectacular?
It was really hard. It was really sad. I arrived in November. November being one of the gloomiest months in Poland. So going straight from Kathmandu, which is like a eternal spring or summer, to Poland. Not a culture shock, but a weather shock. That's for sure. And I was thinking like how I'm going to get back to my normal life after experience like this, after like 3 weeks or of pure happiness, contact with the nature and with the looking at the tallest, highest mountains in the world. How I'm gonna fit again in the office? That seemed impossible. That was my thoughts. As I was, driving back to my apartment. Yeah, then I obviously went to sleep and slept for like 20 hours, I think. So after I woke up, that was still a sort of a, yeah, that was a very, I felt very low because I couldn't imagine myself, going to work or do any normal thing that I used to do before. Because yeah, I was the only thing I thought as I just want to hike one day more. why why I can't, right? But obviously, yeah, real life hits you, and there's no cure for that.
Yeah. So how has this experience changed the way you approach everyday challenges, or has it?
Well, that will be the similar answer I gave to the question before. So right now, I trust myself more, and whenever there is a challenge, I know that if I prepare, I can do it. So and of course, think things doesn't happen on their own. You need to prepare, you need to do some work, but if you do it, then you can make it. So that's how I feel it.
All right. There's probably a listener out there right now thinking, I want to do this, or this was one of my goals to do Everest Base Camp. What advice would you give them?
Don't be afraid. And that will be advice for people like me, for people who seldom climb or hiked or don't do too much sport. So don't be afraid. Just, do your thing, do some preparation, get the gear and just go. It's for everyone. If something happens, it will happen. You can't predict, you can't control it. But this trip is, I think it's for everyone with the, like basic stamina and people who want to, try themselves and are not afraid of harsh conditions, because sometimes, of course, as you get higher, they get more, they get harder. It gets colder, and the lodges are less comfortable. So it's not a trip for someone who can't live without comforts. But if you can endure and survive without it, and you love mountains, just go for it.
All right. The $1,000,000 question. Are you ever going back?
Yes. I already I didn't sign up for days off yet for the PTO. You're gonna get that soon, but I would like to go again in October. And that's something that, during that trip, I met so many people that inspired me for different trips. But this time I want to go again to Nepal and do the Manasu trek, which I heard is more wild. It's not that famous like Everest Basecamp or Annapurna circuits. So it's like not frequently visited. So I'm gonna see it myself if the fates allow. So that's my plan.
Nice. So, how do you keep the spirit of adventure alive now that you're back home, back to work? I'm asking this question because it impacts me. I'm in the Guads or Colorado, and you come back home, and yeah, like how do you keep that momentum going to keep exploring and stuff, and not let the normalcy of our lives, like work and have to do this, kind of damper that?
Hmm. Well, it's hard nowadays. Now that we have winter in Poland and the outdoor activities are limited, it's a similar thing to you in Texas in the summer, right? It's but on
Yep.
the other way around. It's like you can't go outside; you just get depressed at home. So that what is happening right now. Not for everyone. Some people, of course, love winter activities, but I'm not the one. I don't like cold that much. So right now I just plan another adventure, and that keeps me going. But there is little thing. There is little I can do right now, considering the weather. When it improves, when we have spring, I will plan some trips to Tatra Mountains, that's for sure, and Bieszczady. And then in October, I if everything goes well and this situation allows, I will be back.
Nice. All right, last two questions. If you could describe your Everest experience in 3 words, what would they be?
Well, breathtaking, energetic, and spiritual. These are three words that come to my mind.
Nice. All right, so we may have touched on some of this stuff, but, like, what is your immediate next adventure? Is it another country? Is it a specific trip? What's next for you?
Immediate. Well, I'm not planning on any having any trip very soon. I'm waiting for summer, but that's the thing that I just got this idea very recently. So it's not yet decided, but I'm thinking about Iceland this time in July. So I would like to do some road trip in Iceland, but it's like very fresh thing. So not sure if that's gonna come to fruition. So, but before that, before July, I think I will go to Tatra and Bieszczady during the weekends. Then all my PTO is saved for another Himalayan trek.
Nice. If you want an amazing Everest book to read and an amazing story, it's a documentary. I think it's a different name. I'll send that to you, but it's this book right here.
Uh-huh.
It's called Everest, the West Ridge.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So what it is, it's I think it's the 1963 U.S. Everest expedition. So it was the first time, or it was the first successful attempt on Everest that the U.S. had. But there were there were two groups, and it was almost like not a fight, but like verbal arguments where one group didn't want to do just the normal route because other countries have done it. They wanted to do the West Ridge, which no one, I don't know at the time, had done it. And it was like 100% death rate. And so there was a group of hikers of the expedition that stayed back. They summited Everest. And then the expedition leader said, you only have a couple of days to get up and get down or we're leaving. So have at it. So they went up. They made it, and to get back down, they had to bivouac. So meaning they slept out, like, I don't remember how many feet or meters below the peak, Everest peak, that they just slept out in the open. And they said it was the only night that was no wind, and that if there was just a little bit of wind, they would have all died, but they survived and made it back down. So I'll send you, it's a documentary. It's one of my most favorite, but the book is also spectacular. So it's Everest, the West Ridge.
Definitely. I will read it. Yeah. Thanks for that.
Well, Natalia, I can't thank you enough for coming on the podcast and spending over 2 hours of your Saturday with this. This is going to be awesome. And I always feel really dumb because I can never put it in words how grateful I am. But thank you so much. This was awesome.
Yeah, and thank you. And again, I repeat, it's an honor to be in your podcast, knowing that you hosted so many splendid guests. Being among them in that group makes me really proud. So thanks for the invitation. And I hope it goes well, as it is the first time I am in a podcast. And it's a very stressful thing for me, to speak in public. So yeah, bear with me. I did my best.
You nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. And I can't wait to get this out to the listeners for sure. So I will release you and I will holler at you on Monday during our 9 a.m. stand-up.
Yes, see you on Monday, boss.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye. Bye.
And that wraps up another exciting episode of the Trailblazing Texas podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode today, and stay tuned for our next episode where we will pick back up where we left off and guarantee to uncover many more hiking gems and share many more tips to enhance your experience on the trail. Until then, happy trails and happy hiking.